Well, this result partly shows the different social structure of China and other cities. But this structure was subjective perceived social structure, which means how many people perceived themselves as at a different social level. Look, if we compare to all other countries like US, India, Korea, and Russia, so we can see those people was categorized themselves into middle in other countries, all higher than in China. And if we put the higher and the middle higher together, in China only 60% of people, they treat themselves as some people belong to the high and the middle high. But in other cities, even India is like more than 10%, it's like 13%. And Russia is about 15%, which is relatively high. Yeah? No, this is national. International. We also now do more and more study about international perception. This is attitude to US, to Japan, to Russia. Basically, Russia got a very positive feeling, relatively. But Japan will get at the bottom level. But last year, it rise a little bit. American is in the between, but the curve seems like a warm-up in the past several years. But there are some experts say that the relation between China and Japan could be down anytime. And the relation between China and the US could be warm up anytime. The reason, of course, we know more about the historical complex there and from origin Chinese people to Japan. This is about how many Chinese people have the favorite positive attitude to US. So this is a proportion. So basically, 2006 is pretty good. The reason is that in the past year, there's not a special deal, special things about Taiwan. And if, in this, like from the 2000 to 2004, Taiwan issue will be the single important factors will impact the change of the people's attitude to Taiwan, to US. This is, okay. Well, this is about the most friendly country to China. Basically, Russia stands first. North Korea still regarded as the most friendly country to China, but the difference is about the ratio, the proportion of the people who regard North Korea as a friendly country is decreased a lot. And here is about 35%. There's only about around 20%. And if I look at the other countries, Singapore is still will be regarded as the most friendly country, but was declined. And some other countries get the increasing scoring are those countries like South Korea, French, Germany, and also Australia. This is the will be last graph, PowerPoint, is about, when Chinese look at those multinational companies from different countries, who are those companies that got the highest positive comments and appreciation. And those American-based multinational companies get high. In the past 3 years, this is high. European and the Japanese. Actually, Japanese are largest foreign investor in China. So compared to US, it's much larger. But the Japanese company is relatively lower. And the Korea company is also not that high. But it is not also about the country image, but also about the management pattern of the company, and also how to treat the local talents. And among the 300 biggest international invested company in China, American using most American company, they're using the Chinese as a CEO and a president, and then the Germany, and the list using the Chinese as a top management the companies like French, Korean, Japanese. Well, some company, among the top 20 company, 11 are from US. Thank you.
I give the time thing. Thank you, Victor. Sorry to rush you there towards the end. We've got some time for questions. We've got about 20 minutes for questions, if anybody's got them. We also have questions up here, but maybe I'll let the floor, if anybody wants to step in. Chris.
Victor, Chris Nelson, I do a report on Asia side. This is really interesting, obviously, for us. We're wondering, over this table anyway, are your samples what an American polling firm would call a scientifically selected random sample, or how do you decide who to talk to? We noticed that on the foreign policy popularity question, there's really a hell of a lot of volatility year to year. Is that a reflection of the official media coverage, or everybody's Googling their favorite country and getting mad? Why does it go up and down so dramatically?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. The first question about the sampling thing. Actually, with China, we call the population is not industrialized, which means we don't have a fixed form for every family. So that's why we have to do the face-to-face interview and to get a sample from the sample household. And also we have a large size of rural population. So as a result, the typical way would be, the typical way would be much better. Would be ad hoc random sampling way, which means we select some locations and we divide the locations into different level, large size city, medium, small size city, and rural, and then select the locations for each level, and then we're using multi-stage random sampling way. Typically, if at a city, we got all the name list of the residence committee as a primary sampling unit. And then once we got this residence committee out, we have the map for the whole committee and with a mark of the number of household for each household. Then the computer will help us to figure out which household will be interviewed. And then we enter into that household, and usually we use a so-called closest birthday way to figure out who will be interviewed. So use that way, the stage by stage, to get the people who will be interviewed. And the second question is about this issue. Well, first, the international issue, especially about attitude to US, what really happened about leaders visit each other, and also about some things, especially about Taiwan. If there is something happened, then we can see the decline or rising. So that's pretty unstable. Second, you're right. If we talk about domestic issues, those things want to do polling. Actually, people have their own life experience. So they have their own idea, judgment about that. But our international issues, that were more impacted by the media. So which means you give those media this information, the people will be shaped by that. So in that way, we would see mostly the people's attitude were pretty consistent with government attitude. Only exception would be some area would be see more nationalistic sentimental rising in the past, I think 10 years. People feel that even the government don't want to, the public go to that extreme, direction. But sometimes they will do something it's not really government want. So if we encourage more so-called 大国心态, so attitude as a big nation, the citizen of a big nation, so then we can see that kind of a grew up of a nationalistic sentiment.
Sample size on the first question, just on the. When you do your profiling, what's the sample size of the survey?
Okay.
How many people?
The typical nationwide sample size would be ranged from 3,500 to 5,000. That's a typical size.
For national survey.
National survey.